yeah, what's the question for the day? What do you guys want to solve? What's a struggle that you've had this week? What do you guys want to get into? If not, I got a board game that we can play really quick about time management, what you're worth. So fire at Will.
Is Will on the call?
Yes.
So I always have questions, and I don't want to take over the call because 2 times ago I did take over the call. So it's totally open to Tom and Stephanie first if you guys have something else.
Go for it.
Just for the record, all 3 of y'all are all high D's. So go,
Yeah, let's get it done.
That's right. And I sent Stephanie in an email, GSD. I said it in a video, GSD, right? I said that to you, Sarah. You're a GSD woman. Get shit
GSD
done.
mode.
Sorry
Exactly.
to all those on the line that are going to watch later. I swear, I apologize. I'll keep it down later.
Love it. Well, okay. So actually, maybe I can do this since we're networking and stuff too, and this is meant to grow. So I'm curious if you guys, so I think I heard you do real estate, and Stephanie, what did you do?
Insurance agent, insurance and financial services, State Farm Insurance.
Okay.
Excuse
awesome.
me.
That little small company that is in
It
all
is
states.
the world's greatest insurance agent
That's
Awesome.
right.
ever. Yeah.
So I always want to figure out, because, typically with networking, I just like to get to know people better and figure out how we can help one another. So if that's okay, instead of problem solving, I'm curious how I can help you guys, because I understand high level about insurance. If you guys are certified and all that stuff down in the Texas area and that type of thing, I can't really send you people from up here, but how can I help you guys?
Well, there are always people that are moving everywhere. So it's just key that we get introduced. So from my standpoint, whether they're moving to some other place in Wisconsin or they're moving to Texas, I like to help people be sure that they have a good agent, not just any agent. And I'll interview a couple, and then I'll give them 2 people to choose among.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you'll pre-vet people.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want you to have somebody that, the quickest to respond to, oh, I need an agent, does not necessarily mean you're going to get quality.
Correct.
So that's how you could help. And when I refer business, then I get a referral, but it's fun to do that. And then people remember me because, oh, he helped me, whatever.
Yeah. So you're a
Find
good
an agent.
connector.
But that's just kind of expanding your mind. And how's that similar for you, Stephanie, or how would you be helped?
Oh my goodness, I think that was just like a carbon copy. I mean, there are 19,000 agents in the nation, so all independently owned and operated, but the objective is that we all are under the same brand. So same concept, either moving out of Texas or moving to Texas. It's about capturing the mind share. And so for me, it's just creating that image, creating that presence either through my profile or through, people just kind of spanning their social media and helping clients either identify agents that are like myself or like-minded, and or giving an opportunity for other agents to bring on clients from Texas that are moving out of state, which is not as popular. It's more of them coming to Texas, which you're totally fine with. So that's kind of what I've been spending a lot of. So that's what I've been spending a lot of my time on, is just making sure that agents who I don't know, which obviously are several, when they're looking for agents in the area to help their clients move and make that transition a little easier, that I kind of jump off the page or jump off the screen, and there's something there that will attract them to say, hey, here's an agent that I'd like for you to consider moving your stuff to. So
Weird Zoom backgrounds help, just a 2 cents.
What's that?
Weird Zoom backgrounds help.
Oh, she's quite interesting. Yeah. I've gravitated. Yeah.
I just love weird stuff like that. Well, maybe that's a good question, Andy. I think about the way COVID has changed the world, and we're all doing so much more virtual networking like this. I mean, I'm still all in the personal networking. Like I said, I was given a tour this morning, and I'm all about that stuff. But I'm thinking, like, what I do is all remote. So I don't have those limitations of geography. So I really can help anybody. But when I meet people like Tom and Stephanie that do have geography limitations to a point, I'm trying to figure out how we can still do business together and help each other. So do you have any ideas for that we can take that further? I think that would be really cool.
Well, Yeah, actually, it's really interesting you bring that up. We were on a call this morning getting coached on how do we, when we work with clients, how do we help our clients by helping their clients? So I understand the referral part of it. I think you all understand that. But if let's just use this for a second. So if Stephanie has 10,000 clients, okay, and let's say 3,000 of them need help in marketing or they don't know it, how do we get those 3,000 people to a call like this to see value in somebody else, right? So it's the pull through of the help the helper, or check the checker, or help the clients of the client to help their business grow.
Yeah.
How do we know that people know that we like to come from contribution?
Great point. How do we let people know that? I mean, I know, like I said, sorry, you know me and I know is just another word for I have a closed mind. Okay, so let's start again. So, come on, Stephanie, you got kids. Have your daughter or son ever told you I know?
Listen, I am writing that down just as soon as you finish that statement because I am a big scribe. So yeah, I love that. And that's so true. I never understood why the word I know was always kind of like, I'm taken aback by that. But now I understand. Thank you for defining that because it is very close. I already know. There's nothing else you can really tell me because I already know. So thanks
I
for
know,
that.
right?
There's my boy. There's my brother showing up right there.
Yep, there it is.
So if I can hear
I
that
just
back,
don't like the
Andy.
way I look.
It,
Today was my
Hear
day
that
off.
back, Andy. I learn best when I repeat something back that I heard. So if I'm hearing you right, the practical application could be Stephanie helps her clients, like let's say anybody that might be a business client, by, for example, putting on a workshop where I present about marketing expertise and stuff. She's giving them value by educating, not sales, but marketing education.
right.
Well, that's not her thing. And that's helping me because I may get some clients out of it. And her clients love her more because she just provided them a whole new value. Is that
exactly?
correct?
And yes, and it's the value proposition of, and I'm going to say this because right now, I mean, if you look across the United States, there are millions of businesses going under, and there are millions of business owners who are just looking for that one little, and I'm going to say free. I'm going to say it's free. It's no different than, so I've been doing presentations for a company called Washington Prime, and Washington Prime is a nationally held conglomerate that owns malls. And it's about, they're like, well, what do you want to get paid? I'm like, so you're going to put me in front of 400 locations that have 20 to 100 tenants each. Yeah, just sign us up. We'll do the workshop. And the point is it's, give first. And it's interesting. Have you guys ever heard about the emotional bank account?
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay, so let me know if my colors are good enough. So you guys have all heard about the bank account, and this is a teeter-totter, and
Can't
this
see
is
your
one
color.
end. You can't see the color?
Now, is that black or?
Well, it was red. Usually that's the best one. Is that better?
Yes.
All right, we'll go to black. So we talk about the emotional bank account of our clients, and we talk about withdrawal. So let's just say this is the withdrawal side of it, and this is the deposit side of it. So I'm going to ask this question. Who do you know, whether it's a family or friend, that is consistently taking from you, and you never receive anything back from them? Kids don't count. Okay, they're just. So when we talk about our clients, the idea where it goes wrong is we have to keep depositing over here all the time. It's the giving. How did you use that term, Tom? It's the
Something contribution.
Yeah. So you're consistently putting deposits in over here with leadership, with help with, oh my gosh, you had a fire, or oh my gosh, you need a place to stay quick. Oh my gosh, or you're marketing. You're consistently adding to the emotional deposit side of it so that at some point in time, when they need a product or service, they come back and they give it to you. And they call it a withdrawal, but it's really, you're looking for something.
What did
So
you
it's
call that? What was the thing? What did you call the concept?
Emotional.
Yep, it's the emotional bank account.
Emotional bank account. Okay. Only reason why I asked that, because I actually use that terminology of withdrawals and deposits, but usually with my team when I'm coaching.
Okay.
So I
Excellent.
I didn't make the connection until just now that that's basically what we're doing. We're connecting others to others, is that emotional bank account.
I think
Exactly.
where you're kind of going is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly. And you think about all the people that Stephanie knows, or Tom knows, or Sarah knows, or Tanner knows. The idea, we are in a world of connectors. There are those that live over here all the time, right? We know those people. We know those. In the 70s, we called those used car salesmen, right? And now it's like, okay, how do we give back? How do we continually give back and deposit into our clients, into our family, into our friends? And so it's by using this, like you just said, Stephanie, you were using this language all along. You were using this type of verbiage, but the idea is that, how do you deposit into your clients? How do you deposit more into your clients? How does Sarah give more back and to her clients by, is it coaching? Is it, hey, let's do a real estate workshop? There's 1,000 ways to dress this up.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is we have to, when we talk about the emotional bank account, it's all about this. Whip them.
What's in it for me?
Exactly. And this is your clients. They're going to be looking, this has to be greater. Sorry, my little, well, that was good. You like my eraser? So this has to be greater than us. It has to be greater than us, because the WIFM is speaking to them. What's in it for me? Every client that you have, every person that we talk to in today's society is all about me, right? Self-gratification, not everybody, but if you're selling, if you use consultative selling, that's what the message has to be. The same thing goes to emotional bank accounts. We have to decide, what do our clients need? How do we give back? And, if you give back long enough, eventually you'll be able to go, hey, you know what, Mr. Did you find value in that? Well, tell me, have you thought about your commercial insurance? Have you thought about X? Have you thought about marketing this way? You can turn this question into, is it a referral? Is it a straight up addition to the business you're already doing? What do you guys think?
The initial thought came to mind. I just had this conversation, not in this very succinct in theory approach with my team member yesterday, but this very conversation about a gentleman who called and had an interest in a product. She walked through the product, and then he decided he wasn't sure if he needed it. And so I shared, so what was the conversation? Walk me through the conversation, because it feels as if the dialogue was more about the product and not about the what ifs. So kind of getting back to what you shared, what if your home catches on fire? Well, your home doesn't even have to catch on fire because you live in an apartment. So let's just say the guy next door to you left the candle running all night or burning all night, and then it causes the entire unit to catch on fire. What are your plans regarding your stuff? And that changed the process, or his thinking, or what I was sharing with her is that will change his thinking, as opposed to thinking about it from a product perspective that I might need versus something that I do need. But if we don't deliver that conversation in a light that puts it in the what's in it for me mindset of why is this important to me, if we don't help bring our clients to that position, then it always stays in a product mindset. It's just a product that I might need. I don't really know. I don't know if I want to spend the money. I don't know. But if you put it in a mindset of, to your point, what's in it for me? How does this impact me?
Excellent.
So what
It's
kind of,
interesting. Go ahead, Sarah.
well, I was going to ask Stephanie, so what kind of questions do you ask to identify what they need to hear for what's in it for me?
So the first question is, for me, is what plans do you have for?
I like that.
These contingencies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In the event that these are priorities of these three things, what's the priority to you? You only have three. Which of these are going to be the thing that you want to address today?
That's a good one.
Help me understand why that would be important to you. If you don't do something about that today, what are your plans for tomorrow? Or moreover, what is your family going to do? Walk me through what that looks like, since you've made the decision not to make a decision today.
Or I haven't given you enough information to make a good decision. What haven't I answered?
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys, when you look at this diagram, tell me, like those questions you're asking, Stephanie, those aren't, I call them fluff, or, they're fluff questions. How are you? What are we going to talk about today? We have to have really powerful questions for all of our clients. And again, it's the part of giving back, and I know because of the line of work that I'm in, and since you're all D's, asking questions isn't our problem. Feeling comfortable with asking the really difficult questions is that really where we kind of start, well, whatever, we're here, might as well go for it. So tell me, what happens if something happens to you? What happens if your house burns down? No, well, it burns down. Okay, so tell me what happens to your family. Oh, you have to go buy, we'll have to find a new place to live. Oh, tell me, what does that look like with your kids? So tell me, how are your kids going to explain to their friends and their family that, oh yeah, dad was a hashtag cheap bastard and didn't want to insure our stuff? I mean, I know I'm going way off the cliff, but.
Well, no, and that's great. I guess, okay, so if I can pick your brain more, that's kind of the purpose of this, right? So because we're all D's, I don't know about you guys. And Tanner, I'm sorry, this is going to be funny though. I super struggle talking through things with C profiles frequently. And so, again, I'm saying this in a loving way. Like, I want to understand how I connect on that emotional level. Like if I've got, Tom and Stephanie, are you guys familiar with disc profiles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like rambling. So like I get how to connect with an I because I is my secondary profile. I get how to connect with the S because it's all about focusing about their kids and how what we're doing is going to take care of their families and this and that. What do I need to do to connect with a C? Tanner, please tell me.
I mean, C's are debits equal credits and all the minutia and the details. And so the whole time there's the two questions that you should be asking. Why is that important to you? Oh, you're moving. Okay, why are you moving? Well, because I got to be in Dallas. Oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it's not great because my mom's not feeling well. Okay. So finally you get to the end and you say, well, ultimately you're in Dallas by this time, you're able to take care of your mom. So it's just getting down into the details and why is that important to you? And have you heard enough information to make a decision? Yes. I mean, and you say that question early because they may want to just go and say, hey, yep, you're a real person, Stephanie, sign me up. And so the last thing you want to do is give them the opportunity to give yourself the opportunity to talk them out of doing, signing up for a product with you. And so the whole time, you feature benefit, all that kind of stuff. And then have you heard enough information? What's important about that? I have a focus on a thing that I call the alter ego, which is the person that's inside of you that prevents you from being the greater you. And if you're able to identify how that internal person is weakening you, deflecting you, keeping you where you are, I think I might be rambling now because I'm thinking the original question was, how do you deal with the C?
That was it.
Dealing with the C is going through and asking all these questions and
Well, and
what's important to you.
I'd like to phrase my question a little differently. It's not dealing with a C, it's how do I better help a C?
Excellent. Tanner, fire at will. And I have a response too, but I want to hear Tanner's response.
Well, it's funny because we were talking a little bit about this yesterday. And one of the things, at least in the decision-making process is what information have we not discussed to help you better understand?
Right.
So as someone who is not only a high D, but a very, very, very high C as well, that is having the information, and it's not necessarily going into the detail, but do I have the detail that I feel that I need? And making sure that question is out there up front on what have we not gone through to help you understand this better.
Good answer. All right, so I have a forward question for that. So I also am a DI, ID, depending on which state you end up in. And I always joke, my C is somewhere between a 3 and Tanner's is always somewhere between a 14 and a 20 out of a scale of 10. So here's the question that I ask all clients all the time. So before we jump into this, I just have to know, because I can puke all over you. I can give you all kinds of data. I can give you all kinds of information. I can give you all of that. Here's what I need to know. Do you want the baby or not the labor? Now, I know I've used that before with you, but the baby is straight up D. The labor is I'm a high C, or I want both. Great. Now I know in my head that we need to have a data-filled piece of information. And I don't always use that, but are you a person that wants a lot of detail, or are you a person that wants very concise detail? Are you a person that wants me to just tell you everything about it? And that's the I. Let's talk about your family. Let's talk about your kids. And I try to dig that out. Now, of course, before I dig into that, there are other questions you can ask. You can really dig into. So let me find my questions really quick.
To plant a seed, Tanner, I'd love to ask you when Andy's done with this part. Something I've learned from Action Coach to always ask my team is either me as a person or the firm in general, what should I start, stop, or continue doing? And so I'm wondering if this is an appropriate place to ask just for some literal one-to-one feedback, because again, I'm trying to better serve my clients that do have that C profile. I find it very easy to serve those that have the I, have some S. If you could tell me maybe what I should start, stop, or keep doing, that would be extremely helpful.
Oh, interesting.
Andy, I couldn't relate to that, and I'm not being facetious at all. Do you want the baby or the labor? That didn't make any sense to me. If you said that to me, I would have told you to try again.
That's because, all right, so there are a number of ways, but sometimes, so let's just talk here. Here are some questions. So you can always ask, in order to save time, save money, and for peace of mind, would it be okay if we go through this information? And I'll find the scripting and I will send it out. There's an exact script that speaks in the 4 basic languages, and for whatever reason, I can't pull it up right now. But here are 4 questions that you can ask anybody, anytime, when you're visiting with a client. Because again, all of you are dealing in real time with real people, right? So here are my 4 questions. So tell me, are you an action-oriented person who is most comfortable when in charge?
So these are to figure out their disc profile.
Yep, these are straight up questions to figure out their disc profile for you to have a conversation. So are you a person who values friendships, in my work relationships, and likes to build consensus? Then the next one is, are you cool and calm under pressure and like to make logical rather than emotional decisions? And then the last one is, do you like to study lots of information before making decisions?
No.
But the reason I asked that,
my project manager add these to our client intake form.
exactly, and I asked the questions exactly in disc order, DISC. And that allows all of us, because again, all of us deal with so many different personalities, and we deal with everybody around us. And sometimes sometimes we're talking, and like you said, Sarah, I struggle. Tanner can tell you this. I struggle when Tanner goes into his high C mode. Like, he'll explain it to me like 3 times, or he'll start talking about insurance, or he'll start talking about, I just glaze over, like, taxes or payroll or all this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, all right, I trust you, just go. But
so what
again,
can you do to make it easier for you to absorb?
Just give me the high points.
So you have 2 insurance choices. Company A is this much, company B is this much.
Yeah. Or here's what I'm going to do. I trust you. Here's the direction we're going. All right, great. Tell me why. And then I don't need all the, like all of us here in this high personality, I don't need all of the data to go with it. Okay. Right. But also my I always try to put myself in the other person's shoe. Is it relational? Is it a one and done? Are we going to have more conversations? Is it a transactional sale? My struggle is always when coaching C's or enrolling C's or gathering data is I have to bring everything with me. I have to have so much data laid out, and I call it a guided tour. I try to help clients. I take them on a guided tour where they want to go, whatever that is. What is the outcome they're looking for? That's another question I ask all the time. What is the outcome you're looking for from this meeting? Yeah. And maybe, again, I know we're all in the service business, so these questions that come up can be used in any application.
And mine is timeline. What's your timeline?
Perfect.
So because typically I'm like, so we can back into that, because it sounds like this is not something that is a priority for you, or it's something that you need to make a decision today. So help me understand when you'd like for us to get together, because it's going to be important to me to make sure that my time is of benefit to you, and that I don't want to waste, and I don't want your time to be wasted either. So what's your timeline on this? And it's of interest to me from a C's perspective that when you start talking C language, then all of a sudden they are like, I'm gonna need to make a, no, not only need to make a decision, but she's got me right here. Like we are mano. And so that's a big one for me. And particularly to the point that from Tom and I's perspective, where people are like relocating or needing to make decisions, for me, it's okay. I need to kind of see your timeline so that I'll know if this is something we need to drop everything and do today, give you the information so you can make a decision, because you're having to do that in the next month, or you're talking 9 months out. Because 9 months means that there's a lot of stuff that else can be done between now and then. And I don't want to front load all of this that's just going to sit and simmer forever. So that I was just throwing that out as a.
I think that's good. But another question, like I have 2 calls every day, one at 7:30 and one at 8. And the agent that I was speaking to in Minnesota today at 8 was saying that, hey, this person wanted to know how much their house would sell for. And she said, well, I can get that to you. I'll get it to you within 2 weeks. They said that was fine. Well, then she called with the information. Well, I already got this information from somebody else. So what I'm getting to is, is their answer the real answer? And that's, 9 months. But I saw this commercial, so I went ahead and went with Allstate. Or, well, what do you mean?
And see, for me, so I'm already buying into you liking me, because it's about like and trust and convince. And so I'm already working on that already. So I'm not putting my energy in that you might get this call from Allstate or Progressive or whatever, but I am more interested in making sure that when you walk away, there's a value, there's value in this relationship. So that's probably more the I in me coming out, that it's not so much about me trying to chase the competitor, but it is about me trying to chase your mind share, so that whatever you decide to do, You know what I mean? Whatever you decide to
And I'm
do,
not
because
saying,
I can't keep, for me, I can't keep trying to, well, my business. I mean, you probably can relate to that too. It's like every time you turn a corner, there's another, there's another competitor. So it's always just trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to try to at least capture the mind share and build that trust, and confidence. And if we do need to push the timeline, you'll be more inclined to call me and say, I said it was 5 months, but really, can you give me that tomorrow? All right, Tom, let's talk that through, because we can make that happen for you. And I appreciate you calling me back to let me know that your timeline has changed, because we're going to make that happen. You know what I mean? As opposed to me calling you back, oh, well, I went with Allstate because they called me yesterday.
yeah, just interesting.
Interesting. I know, I'm just listening. I'm taking it all in. I learned from the first couple that I need to pause longer, self-reflection. So I'm trying to, let's think.
Before we get off of the call, can I get Tanner's feedback on those questions by chance? Because this would help me be a much better marketing coach.
Yes, there was a couple things I wrote down. And having had the opportunity to work with you, first off, I have to say you do actually appeal better than I think you give yourself credit for. But keep doing, because I know you do this anyway, but allowing time for the information to sink in. Just allowing that time for a pause to allow whatever information that's just been exchanged to kind of sink in and process within the person's mind, from a stop standpoint. And for me, as someone that is a high C, and it could be some of the high D coming out as well, but primarily on the C piece, telling me something without the reason why, it's huge like wall barrier goes up. So if someone says, no, don't do that because I heard it from somebody else that we shouldn't do it that way. Okay, that's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
I need to know why. Say that again.
Like, if I have an idea for something that I've experienced that might help, how can I position that differently and deliver it differently to you so it's better received?
Good question. Let's talk easiest way in a very simple concept is what are the pros and cons? So coming at it from one direction, knowing that you've seen more maybe negatives or cons to whatever has been suggested, but being able to open up that dialogue so that there is actually some understanding of the data, I think is where that comes into, versus here's my opinion, I'm a high D, just choose this and let's go. But allowing, it goes back to allowing time for let the information to sink in, allow the processing to kind of take place. So those were really the two things that I wrote down, the logic versus emotion, really being more on the logic side of things. And then the one other comment that, as we're listening to the conversation and such today, is when we talk about disc profiles, we talk about all of this. What is one of the main reasons that we do this? It's so that we can be adaptable to the person that's in front of us. So whether we're talking about, follow-up process, how often do we need to be on somebody else's mind? I think it comes down to, what is that conversation when you're following up, whether it's once a week or once a month or whatever it is. It's how do you adapt to the way that the message is going to be received. So we always talk about the true communication is the true response that you get. So if you can continue to focus, the main reason we do disc profiling and such is not, oh, you're this, you fit here, but you're this, how do I communicate better with you?
That was extremely helpful. Thank you, Tanner. I'm writing things down.
Awesome. Great job, Tanner. And I can assure you that when I tell him that we're going to do something this way, it doesn't go over that well.
Nobody likes being told what to do. I don't care what your disc profile is.
Exactly. And the whole principle of these conversations is, I know Stephanie's done a lot of work with disc, but it's how are we, again, communicating with clients is always that difficult because we all get that. They come in, they're having a bad day, they're having a good day, we're having a whatever the day we are. It's just about being on the level that we can raise ourselves up to everybody. All right, guys, thank you so much. We ran a little over, but I love the conversations. Please, please, please invite your colleagues just to this open dialogue so we can continue to grow this operation and community. And we'd love to have everybody, like I said, we want to affect 60,000 businesses here in Williamson County and across this great country. So please, next Friday, throw them all in. Let's get them all here.